His app matched him with a stranger. One message made a Fox Admiral chase him across the city. Fox face red heart hash. The unexpected match. The rain hammered against Kieran Cross's apartment window as he collapsed onto his couch, phone in hand. Another 16-hour day of revising botanical garden layouts had left him hollow. His friend Myra had insisted he needed to get out there, but dating felt like another deadline he couldn't meet. Still, boredom won. He downloaded the app she'd recommended, swiping half-heartedly through profiles until one stopped him cold. The profile was sparse, just a Shara and a single photo taken in shadow, showing high cheekbones and eyes that seemed to glow amber in the dim light. No bio. No details. Just an inexplicable magnetism. Before overthinking it, Kieran typed, "Hi. You have the most intriguing profile I've ever seen. Coffee sometime." He set his phone down, expecting nothing. Within 30 seconds, it buzzed. "You have no idea what you've just started." Kieran laughed, typing back, "Mysterious. I like it. So is that a yes?" The response was immediate, "I'll find you." Something about those 3 words sent a shiver down his spine, not entirely unpleasant, but unsettling. He checked her profile again. It was gone. Deleted. Vanished as if she'd never existed. Across the city, Ashara Ven stood on a high-rise rooftop, her fox ears flattened against her head as rain soaked through her dark uniform. Her hand trembled as she held her phone, staring at Kieran's profile picture, a candid shot of him laughing at some outdoor event, genuine warmth radiating from his expression. This wasn't supposed to happen. Her kind didn't engage with humans beyond observation. As an admiral, she'd taken oaths of discretion, of distance. Yet the moment his message appeared, something ancient and undeniable had awakened in her chest, a pull she'd read about in forbidden texts but never expected to experience. "Admiral Ven." Roan Thrace's voice crackled through her earpiece. "Your vital signs are erratic. Are you compromised?" Ashara touched the communicator, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Negative. Just adjusting to the weather." She pulled up the city's surveillance network, her clearance granting access to thousands of cameras. Finding Kieran's location took seconds. She watched him on his couch, a small smile playing at his lips as he looked at his phone, probably waiting for her response. "I'm sorry," she whispered to the night, to herself, to every rule she was about to break. "But I have to know why." She leaped to the next rooftop, beginning her pursuit across the rain-slicked city toward a man who had no idea that a single message had just changed both their fates forever. Shadows and rooftops. Kieran woke to sunlight streaming through his window and an odd sensation of being watched. He shook it off, attributing it to the strange conversation from the night before. The mysterious Ashara hadn't messaged again, and her profile remained deleted. Perhaps it was a prank. At the construction site for his latest project, a rooftop garden atop a downtown building, Kieran reviewed plans with contractors. That's when he first noticed her. A figure on the adjacent building's edge, silhouetted against the morning sky. Gone in a blink. "You okay, boss?" one of the workers asked. "Yeah, just thought I saw something." Throughout the day, the occurrences multiplied. The scent of wild jasmine in the subway where no flowers grew. A shadow keeping pace with him during his evening jog through the park. The feeling of eyes on him, protective rather than threatening, which somehow made it stranger. Myra met him for dinner at their usual cafe. "You look paranoid," she observed, stealing a fry from his plate. "I think someone's following me." The mysterious app girl. Myra's eyes lit up. That's either really romantic or really creepy. Possibly both. "She said she'd find me. I thought it was just, flirty banter." "And now?" Kieran gestured vaguely at the world. "Now I feel like I'm in some weird surveillance romance." What Kieran couldn't see was Ashara crouched on the cafe's roof, listening through a small audio device. Every word he spoke made her smile despite herself. He was handling this better than most humans would, curious rather than terrified. "This is madness," Roan's voice came through her earpiece. "The council will have your rank." "Then let them," Ashara replied softly. "I need to understand this." "Understand what?" He's human. This attraction violates every protocol. Protocol didn't account for this. Ashara touched her chest where her heart beat in a rhythm that matched Kieran's footsteps. Something about him calls to me, Roan. It's not rational, but it's real. She watched Kieran laugh at something Myra said, his whole face transforming with genuine joy. In that moment, Ashara made a decision that terrified and exhilarated her in equal measure. Tonight, she would stop hiding. Tonight, she would let him see her. As Kieran walked home later, he paused at the entrance to the botanical gardens, a shortcut he took often. The gates were technically closed, but the lock was always broken. He slipped inside, surrounded by moonlit foliage. "Hello, Kieran." The voice came from everywhere and nowhere, melodic and tinged with an accent he couldn't place. His heart hammered as a figure emerged from the shadows. She was breathtaking and impossible. Human features blended seamlessly with something other. Fox ears that twitched at every sound, amber eyes that caught the light like gemstones, an otherworldly grace in every movement. "Ashara," he whispered. "I told you I'd find you." The first encounter. Kieran's architectural training had taught him to notice details, but nothing had prepared him for this. Ashara stood 3 feet away, moonlight filtering through leaves to create patterns across her face. Her uniform was unlike anything military he'd seen, sleek, dark material that seemed to absorb light, with subtle insignias that suggested rank and authority. "You're not. I mean, you are, but you're also." He fumbled for words. "Not entirely human." Ashara finished, a hint of amusement in her voice. "No. My kind has lived alongside yours for centuries, hidden in plain sight. I'm what you might call a fox admiral, though the translation doesn't quite capture it. And you've been following me because when I saw your message, something happened that I can't explain." She stepped closer, and Kieran caught that scent of wild jasmine again. It came from her. "My people don't feel this way about humans. We're not supposed to. But you make me question everything I've been taught." Kieran should have been terrified. Every rational part of his brain screamed that this was impossible, dangerous, insane. Instead, he found himself asking, "What do you feel?" Ashara's ears flattened slightly, a gesture he somehow understood as vulnerability. "Like I've been walking through a world of muted colors, and you're the first thing in vivid color I've ever seen. Like every decision I've made has been leading me to that stupid dating app at that exact moment when you happen to be online. That's incredibly poetic for someone who's been stalking me for 24 hours. She laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Fair point. I'm handling this terribly, aren't I?" "Well, you haven't actually hurt me, and you're being honest now, so I'd say you're doing better than most mysterious supernatural beings in stories." Kieran surprised himself by stepping closer. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Why did you delete your profile?" "Because I panicked. Because the moment I sent that response to you, every alarm in my organization system went off. They could track my unauthorized interaction. I had to make a choice, disappear digitally and risk everything to meet you in person, or follow protocol and never speak to you again. And you chose me. I chose to find out why you matter so much." Ashara reached out, stopping just short of touching his face. "May I?" Kieran nodded, and her fingertips brushed his cheek with unexpected warmth. The contact sent electricity through his entire body, and from her sharp intake of breath, she felt it too. "This is dangerous for both of us," she whispered. "I don't care." "You should. My second-in-command is furious. The council will demand explanations. And you could be in danger just by knowing about us." Kieran covered her hand with his, holding it against his face. "Then we'd better make this worth it." Crossing boundaries. Over the next 3 weeks, Kieran discovered that falling in love with someone from a secret society was considerably more complicated than normal dating. Ashara could only meet him after dark, in locations she deemed secure. She taught him the hidden geography of the city, rooftop passages her people used, underground gardens maintained by her faction, observation points where they could see the whole metropolis spread below them. "Your world is beautiful," Kieran said one night as they sat on the edge of a skyscraper, legs dangling over the edge in a way that would have terrified him before he met her. Now, with Ashara's arm around his waist, he felt invincible. "It's your world too," she replied. "We just see different layers of it." He'd brought his sketchbook, and she watched as he drew the secret garden she'd shown him the previous night, a hidden greenhouse atop an abandoned factory, maintained by her people for centuries. "You capture it perfectly," Ashara murmured, leaning against his shoulder. The casual intimacy they developed felt both natural and miraculous. "I'm designing something," Kieran admitted. "A space that could bridge both worlds. Accessible to humans but incorporating the hidden elements your people use. A place where both could exist together." Ashara's ears perked up. No one's ever proposed something like that. Maybe it's time someone did. She kissed him then, soft and searching, and Kieran felt the world narrow to just the two of them. Her lips were warm, her touch gentle despite the strength he knew she possessed. When they finally pulled apart, both were breathless. "I love you," Ashara said simply. "I don't care if it's too soon or impossible or against every rule. It's true." "I love you too," Kieran replied, pulling her closer. "We'll figure out the rest." But the rest came sooner than they'd hoped. Roan Thrace appeared one evening as Kieran waited at their usual meeting spot, his expression grim. "She's not coming," he said without preamble. "The council found out about you. She's being held for tribunal." Kieran's blood ran cold. "What does that mean?" "It means she'll be forced to choose, renounce you and maintain her position, or face exile from everything she's ever known." Roan studied him with fox-sharp eyes. "Is she worth that to you? Because if you truly care about her, you should walk away now. Save her the choice." "No." Kieran stood, surprising himself with his certainty. "I won't make that decision for her. Where is she?" Roan's expression softened slightly. "You're either very brave or very foolish. Possibly both." He handed Kieran an address. "But she deserves to make her own choice." The choice. The council chamber was hidden beneath the city's oldest courthouse, accessible only through passages Kieran would never have found without Roan's reluctant guidance. He entered to find Ashara standing before a semicircle of 7 fox people, each wearing formal regalia that made them look ancient and formidable. "A human," one of them said with distaste. "You brought him here." "He has the right to hear this," Ashara said firmly, her eyes meeting Kieran's with such intensity it took his breath away. "Since I'm being judged for choosing him." The central councillor, an older foxwoman with silver-tipped ears, spoke. "Admiral Ven, you have broken our most sacred covenant, non-interference with human emotional bonds. Your actions endanger our entire society. We offer you one final chance. Renounce this human, complete a memory modification protocol on him, and retain your rank. Or choose exile, stripped of all authority and protection." Kieran stepped forward before Ashara could respond. "With respect, your system is flawed." The chamber erupted in outrage, but the silver-tipped councillor raised a hand for silence. "Explain yourself, human. You've hidden for centuries out of fear, but Ashara showed me that our worlds can coexist beautifully. Love doesn't endanger that, fear does." He turned to Ashara. "But I won't be the reason you lose everything. If walking away protects you, I'll do it." "No." Ashara's voice rang clear. She faced the council with her head high. "I choose him. I choose love over fear, connection over isolation. If that means exile, then I accept it gladly. Because Kieran has shown me that the life I've been living, following orders, maintaining distance, denying my heart, that isn't living at all." She crossed to Kieran, taking his hands in hers. "You asked me once why you mattered so much. It's because you saw me, not the Admiral, not the warrior, not the other, just me. And you loved me anyway." Kieran kissed her forehead gently. "Always will." The silver-tipped councillor stood, and the chamber fell silent. "In 300 years on this council, I have never seen such courage." She looked at the other members. "Perhaps it is we who need to evolve. Admiral Ven, you will retain your rank, but with a new assignment, establish protocols for human-fox relations. You too will be our test case." Ashara's ears shot up in surprise. You're allowing this? With supervision and guidelines. But yes. Love, it seems, transcends even our oldest laws. 6 months later, Kieran stood in the completed bridge garden, a rooftop space that seamlessly blended human and fox architectural elements. Ashara wrapped her arms around him from behind as they watched both humans and fox people explore the space together. "Thank you," she whispered, "for swiping right on that app. Thank you for chasing me across the city." She turned him to face her, eyes shining. "Ready to see what other rules we can break together." Kieran kissed her deeply, the city spreading out below them in all its hidden and revealed glory. Always. Lessons from love's pursuit. True love requires courage to break boundaries that fear has built, choosing connection over comfort. The heart knows what the mind cannot explain. Trust in unexpected attractions, for they may lead to your destiny. Love transforms not just individuals but entire worlds, proving that intimacy between different souls can bridge any divide. When someone pursues you with genuine devotion, and you pursue them with equal passion, together you create something neither world alone could imagine.